The Antigua and Barbuda Coalition of Service Industries, Inc. will be holding a national consultation for persons who have studied and are practicing architecture on September 28th at the Parliament Training Room on Queen Elizabeth Highway. In response to the CARIFORUM states signing of the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, with the European Union, regional architects have formed a committee called the Caribbean Architects Mutual Recognition Agreement Committee to assist in the preparation of a mutual recognition agreement, the MRA. Azara Lavier reports.
The regional body, CAMRAC, is comprised of members of the Association of Commonwealth Societies of Architects in the Caribbean, the Federation of Caribbean Associations of Architecture, regional boards of architecture, and the Dominican Republic's Institute of Engineers, Architects, and Surveyors. Further to a meeting with the EU counterparts, CAMRAC recommends that it would be beneficial for the CARICOM states to have an intra-regional MRA before attempting to secure agreement on the EU CARIFORUM MRA. Caribbean countries are seeking to come together under one umbrella to form a national consensus as to the position of the architects. To this end, one of the objectives of the national consultation is to discuss and agree on the minimum criteria for licensing and registration of architects, which will form the basis of the intra-regional MRA. Project Implementation Officer of the Antigua and Barbuda Coalition of Services Industries speaks of the purpose of the consultation.
The purpose of that is to bring some sort of consensus in terms of licensing and registration. So what you're finding is that if the Institute of Architects, for example, is not up to par in terms of what is happening regionally, Antigua will then have to fall in line with what the regional consensus is. If we are above par in terms of what is happening regionally, then you would see that it will even off. But the reality of it is that regionally, we're taking an approach where we must have mutual recognition in order for us to engage our international partners.
And be able to even compete.
And to even be able to compete, not just regionally, but in our own markets. Because what happens is that you're in a situation now where if you cannot compete within your own market because of legislation, which is then, of course, governed by CARICOM and other regional entities as well, then you find yourself in a situation where you're not capable of providing the service that you thought you could.
Colin John Jenkins of CJC Jenkins Design, who recently received a scholarship for training in leadership in energy and environmental design, Green Associate, an accredited professional designation from the Antigua and Barbuda Coalition of Services Industries, speaks of the importance of the meeting.
When we think about design and sustainable design, I think we have some of the principles already in place. For example, our water catchment systems that the DCA insists that you must have as a part of a component to apply for approval. But it's having a program or a structure that gives it an integral, progressive, and sustainable account for all of the factors, because it has long-term effects and they're beneficial effects. Because if you think about a country needs a certain amount of capital to sustain itself, to improve its systems. But if you find a way to intelligently design and build, you would spend less, right? And therefore you would have more available resources to capitalize on your social programs, which is important. A simple thing like orienting your building a different way or from the norm saves energy, because it means less heat into your building, so you therefore require less energy to cool your systems in your building.
A representative from CAMRAC will conduct the consultations as a part of the first phase of the regional initiative. This credential is expected to provide opportunities for architects and construction professionals to bid on contracts, access markets, and capitalize on business opportunities in the specialized area of green building. Azara Lavier, ABS News.